name's Charity, and today I'm going to be doing a TED Talk, and this is about work ethics and how it plays in the workplace. So let's just go ahead and get right to it. So we want to talk about the examples of ethics in the workplace, whether it's in the past or present, that's workplace oriented. Then you do the steps of the decision-making process based on the example of each. Then you have solutions that are relative, and then you compare it to the solutions that you come up with yourself. And then we have steps to do and what not to do when you have this example. So for the past example, from my experience, is being professionally accountable for yourself. This means being at work on time. Being on the days you have to be there at work. Be honest and about your motivation and everything. Own up to your mistake, even if it is not your fault necessarily, or if it is your fault. Then working towards a resolution as a professional, do it professionally. So the present example would be dedication commitment, which means you're always there. Lend a helping hand. They can trust you. You just have strong work ethic, and people look up to you, and they're like, "That's one cool person right there. I want to be just like that person." You're just being inspiration. So how does the decision-making process work for the first two examples? For this one, for professional accountability, is number one, look at the mistake that you made and try to pinpoint what happened. Like if you're late to work, something happened, then you figure out the solution, like just getting up 15 minutes early, leaving early to be there on time for work. Think about the way the pros and cons. If you do it or you don't do it, then you implement what works for you the best on the solution, being there early. And if it works, you see the results and it's working, that's good. If it doesn't, you can tweak it a little bit. For humans, we always do that. For dedication and commitment, sometimes when you're working, it's very hard. Everything weighs down on you and stuff. And sometimes you're just a little irritable. So what you do, if you are very dedicated to your job but it wears you down, figure out what wears you down the hardest. And sometimes it's very tough. Figure out the problem, and then you find a solution that works. Go to bed earlier, pray, whatever works for you the best. Then you weigh the pros and cons like you did in the first example. If you don't do this, this will happen. Then you pretty much just set it in motion, basically. You pick what's best for you and you put it into play. If it works, it works. Again, if it doesn't work, that's cool. You just tweak it. So what are the recommended solutions for each of the first one? For each of them? For the first one, it would be basically always to be accountable for yourself. Even if it's not your fault, always be accountable for what you do. And this is for responsibility for yourself and for dedication commitment. Basically, you always show the dedication commitment, even when it's rough and hard at the job. Sometimes you feel appreciated. So the solutions that I compare to the recommended solution for professional accountability is being able to trust while being responsible for not only yourself but for others as well. Number two, always be there when you're needed, no matter what happens. You're reliable. Dedication, commitment. Always being positive and being like an inspiration for everyone. Number two, always having a strong work ethic in every situation, and you have to be very professional about it. So for what to do in professional accountability, you see your mistake. You own up to the mistake. You correct the mistake. Basically, you just nip it in the bud. And then once you nip it in the bud, it'll just take care of itself. You see the results. what not to do. Don't feel over worried about it if it's out of your control, because life happens. Try not to cover the mistake by lying, because it'll go like snowball effect. Then don't be overbearing about information, because that's just not professional. Like, stuff that you're not supposed to talk about. And then have a proper solution for the results if it doesn't go through the steps of decision making. No. Then dedication, commitment of what to do. Always have a positive attitude. You're human. It's okay to make mistakes, even if you know what you're doing. You always have a strong work ethic. And dedication, commitment is inspiration to others. What not to do? Don't have a negative attitude, even if your day is kind of messed up. Mistakes never, not supposed to come out. It will eventually come out. Do not have lack of work ethic. Lack of commitment and dedication is not very inspirational, because if you don't have that, then be like, oh, it's just another person who doesn't do what they're supposed to do. And in some ways, professional accountability and dedication commitment just happen to overlap. And it's very similar in some ways, and some is different. That's what makes it different and unique. So this is my presentation, and I hope you guys enjoy it.